Okay, I'm back, and so now we want to discuss what a contact is. So a contact is going to be a boundary between two different kinds of rocks. So let's look at the first kind of contact, which is going to be a intrusion, and this is going to occur with igneous processes. So that if you have some rocks like this, and then magma comes up, and then you now have magma in here, then this boundary is going to be a igneous intrusion contact. Okay, you can also have sedimentary contacts, so that if you've got a layer of, let's say that this is sandstone, and then underneath it is a layer of limestone, then this would be the contact between those two types of rocks. Okay, you could also have a fault, could be a contact. So in the case of a fault, you might have a situation in which you got one layer of rock has been moved relative to another layer of rock, and then the contact between those two layers is going to be the fault itself. And then you have different kinds of unconformities. So an unconformity is going to represent a gap in time between two different kinds of rocks. So the first one is going to be called a disconformity. So in the terms of a disconformity, you had layers of rock, but then part of that rock got eroded away. So let's say that it represents a erosional surface, and then more rocks were laid on top of it. So that is going to be called a disconformity, where you have parallel stratas of rock. Okay, then you can have a angular unconformity, and so this is going to be when you have tilted rocks. So let's say that this is some tilted rocks, and then on top of that is going to be beds of rocks like that. So this boundary is going to be a angular unconformity. And then you can have a nonconformity as well. And so what this is going to be is you had some igneous or metamorphic rocks, and then they got weathered. So down here is some igneous or metamorphic rocks, and then this represents an erosional surface, and then on top of that, again, you're going to have some sedimentary rocks, let's say, and so this boundary here represents missing time. So we don't know how much time is missing when we see one of these different kinds of unconformities. So if you want some practice at knowing the difference between all of these different kinds of contacts, well, that's what this picture here is for. So this picture has labeled some different kinds of contacts, and see if you can spot them in that picture. Okay, so let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about how to date rocks relatively.